Hello, so I've actually got a story for you this time. The last time in my other video, I was kind of rambling on, talking about completely random things that wasn't really relevant to much, but I guess these videos will just be me talking about stuff. So today we're going to talk about the game of Starcraft, which I started playing in 1998. And when I started playing it, I was so excited. Um, I saw the previews for it. I looked at the cover of the game. I would go to the store. I think it was a Walmart that was close to me, and we would go in. And I always was really excited to go there because as a kid we were very poor, so Walmart was like the mall to us, right? And so we go in. When I went in there, I always go to the game section and look at the different games they had there. And I seen the StarCraft game, and I was really interested in it, but we didn't quite have the money for a lot of things, and the computer we had at the time was pretty slow. We later on got an E-machine computer. I think that was when I was 11 or 12, and that one had that big button on the front of it that you push. It says E, has the E on it, E-machines, and that computer was way faster. Now we had that from when I was about 11 or 12 until I was 15. Now at this time, I can't remember the name of the computer we had, but I was playing this, what was this game? Duck Hunt or something like that? And there was like this game called Frogger, I think. I'm not sure if that was the name of the game. Might have been something else. But these are really old games. And it was like old Microsoft, Windows 98 and all that. And anyway, so I would be in there. I would look at the cover of the, for the CD of the game, and I would just look at it. I would read all the stuff about the game, and I really wanted to play. So one day, I eventually got to have the game, and we went home to download it. Now, as a kid, when you're young, it seems like 15 minutes or something feels like an eternity when you're waiting for a game to download. And so the little tiny bar says like 1%, then it would go 2%, and then 3, and then 4, and then 5. It seemed like it took forever until it got to just 25%. And then it seemed like it was forever until 50 and 75. And finally, it got to 100%, and the game was downloaded. So I go to play. The game's downloaded. I click on it, and I have to put all these settings on minimum. Now, the graphics for StarCraft of 98 wasn't really demanding, but at the time computer technology was not as advanced as what we have now. And I went to play the game and I had to put all the settings on the very minimum. And the computer fans were running like max speed. And when you live in Florida, it's really hot. And I can't remember if it was the summer or the winter when this game came out that I started playing it. But most of the year is pretty hot. Like the entire summer and even part of spring is really hot. And when you don't have an air conditioner and you just have fans to cool your the house that you're living in, and the temperature is 90 to 100 some degrees, computers get really hot, and electronics don't last very long in that temperature. So I finally got to play the game. Lowest graphics possible. The computer's having a hard time with it. And we later on had to upgrade the RAM on it. I think it was like, at the time, like 512 megabytes of RAM was a massive amount of RAM. I can't remember what we had. I think it was like 128 megabytes of RAM at the time. And computer technology has really advanced a lot since then. And we upgraded the RAM so I can actually play the game. And so I played it, and I wanted to play online. Now, whenever I tried to play online, that became an issue because I had to download some updates for the game. And then once the updates were done, it took a long time to get the updates done because it took, I think it was like 6 to 8 hours for it to update. And to do this update, I had to be online. Now, when you have dial-up internet, have to be you have to make sure nobody calls you whenever you're downloading something, because whenever I had dial-up internet, if somebody was to call me while I was using the internet, it would kick me off the internet, and I wouldn't be able to use it until the call was over, which became frustrating because I wanted to play this game that I'd been waiting for so long, and I wanted to try to play it online, and that did not work out very well. And there's some other games in the future that I'll talk about that was like this too, but I just was never really able to play online that much. Later on, I was kind of able to. I had to look at the schedule with family and everything, people I was living with, so that I could play the game when nobody else was there. And it was really frustrating when someone would call when I was in the middle of a match. So I started the campaign and played through all the campaign. I think I had it on like medium difficulty when I started, and then later on moved up to the higher difficulties. But I played this game from 1998, from when it came out, all the way until now. And I haven't played it hardly at all in the past 2 years. I think the last time I've played it was a couple of months ago. But I've known the game and played the game for 22 years now. And that's quite a while. It's a long time. But yeah, there's Starcraft 1, and then there's the 2 expansions to it. And there's Starcraft 2, and there's 2 expansions of that one. And I've played all of them, and I enjoyed the competitiveness of the game, but I think there comes like some point to where it's not really as much about strategy as it is like mouse control and like clicking and like spamming clicking stuff. Because sometimes the units, when you would click on them, you could move them somewhere else, and the units would like go in all these weird directions, and they wouldn't go to where you want them to go. And so you had to like click like over and over and over to try to get them to move. Like you'd have a unit, and if you clicked from here to here, they would go like this. So I would click from here to there, and they would start to do that, and then I would keep clicking so that they would go in a straight line. And when I was playing in campaign mode, it was frustrating when I had to try to beat the campaign and the units would just go all over the place. But yes, I played the game for 22 years. I try to do gaming now, but I think it's because I've gotten older maybe. But within 5 minutes, I'm kind of just bored. I want to do something that's more productive. Like for me, I want to do something productive that's also relaxing. Drawing can be relaxing and productive for me. So while I'm drawing, I'll be listening to music or I'll be listening to a podcast, and I can get work done at the same time while I'm drawing. But I'm not sure. Maybe I'll give StarCraft a try. Maybe I'll stream myself playing it. I don't know. But we'll see. But I can't believe it's been 22 years already that I've known that game. I played it later on. I played it a lot up until 2008, I think. Well, mostly up until 2006. And then after that, I kind of slowed down a lot. And I barely played it a whole lot after 2008, like almost none hardly. And then I played it a whole bunch when StarCraft 2 came out. And I think that was in 2010. Yeah, so from 2008 to 2010, I didn't play the game barely at all. And then from 2010 to 2013, I played a whole bunch. Pretty much during the period of 2010 to 2013, I did a lot of gaming. So that was 20 to 23. And then when I was 23, I got more into sprinting and sports. So, and also during that time, I was playing, was it Diablo 3? But Diablo 2, that game I was playing, I played the first one that came out before StarCraft, but I had StarCraft and Diablo I played a bunch when I was really young. But back to StarCraft, because that's what this topic is about, is that yes, I played it for 22 years. I did move up to, in StarCraft 2, there's like different leagues that you can play. and I moved up to the Diamond League. It was like, trying to remember the ranking I had. It was because you've got your like very beginner. You've got like bronze, silver, gold, and then there's like diamond. And I'm trying to remember the name of the one that's above that. It goes to show you I haven't played it that much in a while. I haven't hardly played it at all in the past 4 years, 4 or 5 years. I haven't played it that much. So I actually forget now the ranking. But back when I played StarCraft 1, I was way better at that game than I was with StarCraft 2. Because at that time I was like really into gaming as a kid. I had more free time to do it because I wasn't working, obviously, or having all these other responsibilities. But I was a lot better at that game when I was younger. I remember I would come home after school and I would start playing the game, do the campaign. And whenever I did the campaigns, I remember I would try to do everything in the whole game, or try to beat all the enemy units, do all the missions, and then do it on the high, like every difficulty. I had this like OCD or something of wanting to beat the game on every difficulty and do every mission and everything and unlock everything. And my favorite to play in the game was the Protoss, and that was in StarCraft 1 and 2. But I was way better at StarCraft 1 than I was in StarCraft 2. I played StarCraft 2 a little bit online. I know I moved up to Diamond League on that. But on StarCraft 1, I can't remember the ranking system on that. But I was ranked a little bit, I was ranked a bit higher than what it was in StarCraft 2. Even though I was much younger, even with all the experience that I have, I was just a lot better at StarCraft 1. But yes, that was quite a while ago. And I remember like going on a car ride one day because I had to go visit my grandparents, and I had brought the game with me to play there, because we went on like a 1 or 2 week vacation during the summer to go see my grandparents, and I brought the game with me, and it was like I think a 3.5, 4 hour car ride from where I lived to my grandparents. And I remember just looking at the user manual and stuff about the units and looking at the game, just thinking about the game and wanting to play it on my car ride there. And when we got there, first thing I did is I ate a huge meal because I was hungry, and then I started playing the game. But I think the first time that happened, it was actually the car ride took a little bit longer because of traffic, and we left later in the day. So when we got there, it was really late at night, and I was really sleepy. I just went straight to bed, and then played it in the morning. But ever since, from like 1998 up until about 2006, I played it constantly, and then played it a whole bunch from 2010 to 2013. And ever since 2013, I've kind of haven't really done much gaming as much anymore. I've really gotten to drawing, but I think that how I can tie this in with art is the competitiveness of it, of playing the game, and the strategy and thinking about what I can do and how to move units around, trying to be creative. And the way I compare it to drawing is that it was a challenge, but also fun, but can also be relaxing depending on what you're doing. So I guess it's kind of the same now when I come home from work. I want to sit down, do some drawing, and it's mostly what I work on now. I don't really do much gaming, but maybe I'll do some streaming of the game in the future. I don't know, but we'll see. But yeah, that's my quick story about playing StarCraft. I'll have more stories like this in the future. Kind of just ramble on about stuff, talk about things, and tell you a little bit about my life. I have some other games to talk about in the future, like Diablo 1, 2, and 3. I know they're making a fourth one. I played Sims a lot, SimCity. I also played, what are some other games? I had everything from like Atari all the way up to PlayStation 2. I've got an Xbox 360, but I haven't used that or played it since 2004, 14. I think I played it one time, like 2015 maybe, but I haven't actually used it in 6 years. I know I just used it up until 2016 as a thing for me to just watch movies on. I would put my movies on it and watch movies on there because I never even had a CD-ROM drive in my computers because everything's digital now. You just download digital. So like my computer I have now, I don't have a CD drive. So I just use my Xbox to watch movies on, but I don't really even watch movies hardly at all anymore. If I had to choose between watching a movie and drawing, 99.999% of the time I'll choose to do some drawing. It's very rare that I ever see a movie anymore that's interesting, and I haven't watched any movies for quite a while. But yeah, Starcraft, long history, and maybe I'll talk about it more in the future, go into more detail about it. And until then, let me know what you think. Give this video a like, share it with your friends, and you have a good day. Until then, thank you for watching, and let me know if you have any questions about some stories you'd like me to talk about, or anything you want me to draw. And let me know what you think of this style of video that I'm working on and doing here. So go ahead and let me know if there's anything you'd like to ask me. And until then, I'll see you later in the next video. Bye.